This story is based on a shocking mystery that will keep you questioning everything until the very end. The main character is Yashoda, a young woman who becomes part of a surrogacy center to help other families have children. But as time passes, she begins to notice something strange. Not once has she seen a newborn baby after delivery. Even more disturbing, none of the women who come here to become mothers are ever seen again. Where are these babies being taken? What is really happening behind the walls of this surrogacy center? And what terrifying secret is being hidden from everyone? As Yashoda starts searching for answers, she uncovers a truth far more dangerous than she could have ever imagined. The revelation will leave you completely stunned. So make sure you stay with us until the very end, because this is a story full of mystery, suspense, and shocking twists.
The movie begins by introducing us to a famous actress named Olivia. One day, she is enjoying herself in a lake, completely unaware that a group of troublemakers are secretly watching her. The men have evil intentions and decide to take advantage of the situation. To carry out their plan, they secretly mix a dangerous substance into her drink. After consuming the drink, Olivia Blee suddenly collapses and dies under mysterious circumstances. What makes the incident even more disturbing is that strange kissing mark-like patterns appear on her face after her death. When the police begin investigating the case, the autopsy report reveals that Olivia died from a drug overdose. One of the substances is identified as LSD, but the authorities are unable to determine the identity of the second drug. This leaves the case surrounded by mystery. The story then shifts to Yashoda, the film's main character. She arrives at a hospital for a medical checkup, where we learn that she is 3 months pregnant. However, this is not a normal pregnancy.
Yashoda has agreed to become a surrogate mother in exchange for money. Once the baby is born, it will be handed over to another family, and she will receive financial compensation. Yashoda's decision is driven by desperation. She has a younger sister who is suffering from a serious illness, and the treatment costs are far beyond what the family can afford. Hoping to save her sister's life, Yashoda chooses the difficult path of surrogacy. During her checkup, a doctor informs her that representatives from the company will soon take her to their facility after paying the first installment of the promised amount. The very next day, a man arrives at Yashoda's house carrying a bag full of cash. At first, everything seems normal, but once she gets into the car with him, he secretly gives her a sedative. Within moments, Yashoda loses consciousness, and without realizing it, she is about to step into a nightmare that will change her life.
When Yashoda finally regains consciousness, she finds herself inside the facility that the doctor had previously mentioned. The place belongs to a company called Yuva, a highly secured center where surrogate mothers are kept throughout their pregnancies. Soon, a young woman named Madhu comes to meet her. Madhu helps Yashoda settle in and explains the rules of the facility, including how they are expected to live, eat, and follow the daily routine. She reassures Yashoda that once her delivery is completed, she will receive the remaining payment and be free to return home. Although Yashoda tries to stay positive, something about the place feels strange and unsettling. Meanwhile, the story shifts to a completely different investigation. A forensic doctor is discussing a case with police officer Rishi. According to the report, a man named Shiva did not die in the car explosion as everyone initially believed. Instead, the doctor reveals that Shiva's actual cause of death was suffocation. Rishi is surprised because the official story says that Shiva died when his vehicle exploded. The doctor then explains that while the car did catch fire and explode, Shiva was still alive at that point. His death occurred later because he was unable to breathe. This discovery completely changes the direction of the investigation. Interestingly, Shiva died on the very same day that Yashoda was being transported to the surrogacy facility. A model named Arashi was also present with him during the incident. Realizing that there may be more to the case than a simple accident, Rishi begins digging deeper. Later, he presents the findings to the police commissioner. After hearing the report, the commissioner suggests closing the case quickly and informing the media that the investigation is complete. However, Rishi refuses to give up so easily. He believes that someone is hiding the truth behind Shiva's death. He requests more time and tells the commissioner that he wants to uncover what really happened. Rishi also feels that he will need help from an experienced expert. The person he has in mind is Vasudev, a highly respected trainer who works with the police department. After some consideration, the commissioner finally agrees and gives Rishi permission to continue the investigation.
Meanwhile, a warden named Sudha takes Yashoda for a routine medical scan. At the facility, the scans are conducted by a doctor named Gautam, who is responsible for monitoring the health of all the surrogate mothers living there. As time passes, Yashoda and Gautam begin spending more time around each other, and a quiet bond slowly starts to develop between them. One day, all the surrogate mothers gather around the dining table and introduce themselves. Some of them are in their 4th month of pregnancy, while others are much further along. Among them are Teju, Leela, Kajal, and Jenny. At first, Yashoda feels like an outsider and struggles to fit in, but gradually she becomes comfortable with the group, and the women develop a strong friendship. Living together every day brings them closer, and they begin supporting each other like a family. Later, Teju decides to play a prank on Yashoda as part of a harmless initiation. She dares her to bring back a packet of cigarettes from Zone 2, an area where patients are strictly forbidden from entry. Teju never expects Yashoda to actually do it, but to everyone's surprise, Yashoda heads toward the restricted section. The moment she enters the area, a security officer notices her and immediately starts questioning her presence there. Before the situation can escalate, Dr. Gautam arrives and takes her away. Outside, Gautam explains that Zone 2 is reserved exclusively for doctors and authorized staff. Patients are not allowed there under any circumstances. His serious warning only makes Yashoda more curious about what is being hidden inside that section of the facility.
At the same time, the investigation into Shiva's death continues. After examining Shiva's vehicle, Vasudev comes to a shocking conclusion. He believes the incident was not an accident at all. It was a carefully planned murder. According to him, chemicals had been injected into the car's airbags. The moment the airbags deployed, they released the deadly substance, turning the vehicle into a trap. Vasudev then points out something even more interesting. He suggests that the actual target may not have been Shiva. The killers might have been after the model Arushi, who was traveling with him that day. His reasoning is simple. If someone only wanted Shiva dead, they had several earlier opportunities when he was traveling alone. The fact that the attack happened while Arushi was with him raises serious questions. Following this lead, Rishi and Vasudev visit Arushi's house and begin searching through her laptop. While investigating, they discover several video messages from an unknown man. In the recordings, the man regularly advises Arushi about which beauty products she should promote and which ones she should avoid endorsing. The most suspicious clue comes from a recent offer Arushi had received to advertise a beauty product. The mysterious man had strongly warned her not to promote it because the company had refused to disclose the ingredients used in its manufacturing process. This revelation makes the investigators suspect that the product company may be hiding something much darker than anyone realizes. And slowly, the mystery surrounding Shiva's death begins connecting to a much larger conspiracy.
Following the new lead, Rishi and Vasudev visit the beauty product company connected to the investigation. The company is run by a powerful young man whose father, Giridhar, is a central minister. Because of his political connections, the case becomes even more sensitive. Meanwhile, back at the surrogacy facility, Warden Sudha discovers that her access card has gone missing. The card allows entry into restricted areas, so she immediately becomes worried and starts searching for it. Unknown to everyone, the card has secretly been stolen by Yashoda. At the same time, the police visit the home of the mysterious man who had warned Arushi not to promote the beauty product. But when they arrive, they make a disturbing discovery. The man is already dead. As they search his house, they find a strange chemical stored inside a freezer. Sensing that it could be important, Rishi sends the sample to a trusted friend for laboratory testing. Sometime later, Rishi receives a call from him. The lab expert reveals something shocking. He says that a similar, unidentified chemical was found in the body of actress Olivia, whose mysterious death is still under investigation. According to him, the sample from the freezer appears to be closely related to the same substance. The expert promises to conduct further analysis and send a detailed report soon. But before he can complete his work, an unknown person suddenly murders him, silencing yet another witness connected to the case. Meanwhile, life inside the surrogacy center continues. One evening, the women gather together and start sharing the stories that brought them there. Teju reveals that her parents had always wanted a son.
When she was born a girl, they were deeply disappointed. Ever since childhood, she had tried to live like the son her parents never had. Now, she has chosen surrogacy to help repay her family's debts and prove her worth. Next, Kajal shares her painful past. She was born in a red light district, and her mother worked as a prostitute. However, after Kajal's birth, her mother wanted her daughter to grow up far away from that environment. She sent Kajal to a village and sacrificed everything for her future. Kajal joined the surrogacy program because she wanted to earn enough money to rescue her mother from that life forever. Then comes Jenny's turn. Unlike the others, Jenny casually admits that she joined the program for a much simpler reason. She wanted to buy the latest iPhone, but she didn't have enough money. The moment she says this, everyone bursts into laughter. But none of them realize that a dark secret is hiding behind the walls of the facility. And very soon, their lives are about to change forever.
The next day, Kajal suddenly goes into labor. As her condition becomes critical, the staff quickly rush her to the operation theater, which is located inside the highly restricted Zone 2. While everyone waits anxiously, Leela begins sharing her story with Yashoda. She explains that she comes from a family of traditional puppeteers and grew up listening to stories about Lord Krishna. Since childhood, she always believed that one day Krishna himself would be born as her son. However, after getting married, doctors informed her that she and her husband would never be able to have a child naturally. Her dream was shattered. Then one day, she was offered the opportunity to become a surrogate mother. Instead of seeing it as a job, Leela viewed it as a blessing. She believed that through this child, she would finally experience motherhood. More than anything else, she says she wants just one thing, to see her baby's face at least once before they are separated. Meanwhile, Madhu returns with news about Kajal. She tells everyone that the baby had died inside Kajal's womb before delivery. Fortunately, the doctors were able to save Kajal's life, and she has already been sent back home. The explanation sounds believable, but something about it doesn't sit right with Yashoda. At the same time, outside the facility, the investigation takes a dangerous turn. Rishi and his team were suddenly attacked by unknown assailants. During the attack, one of his associates is killed.
Around the same time, the police commissioner is involved in a serious car accident and ends up hospitalized. Back at the surrogacy center, the women are devastated by Kajal's sudden departure, but Yashoda can't shake the feeling that something is terribly wrong. Determined to uncover the truth, she pretends to faint and uses the confusion as an opportunity to secretly enter Zone 2. Inside, she starts searching for answers. But before she can discover anything important, Dr. Gautam catches her there. Instead of punishing her, he quietly escorts her back to her room, leaving Yashoda even more suspicious about what is being hidden. Meanwhile, the hospitalized commissioner shares a shocking discovery with Rishi and Vasudev. According to the investigation, actress Olivia used to visit India twice every year and would stay for only 3 days each time. But she wasn't the only one. Records show that nearly 122 foreign women followed the exact same pattern, visiting India every 6 months and leaving shortly afterward. What makes this even stranger is that investigators still have no idea why these women were coming. However, all of them had one thing in common. They were incredibly wealthy. This revelation makes Rishi realize that the case is much bigger than a simple murder investigation. Meanwhile, a wealthy foreign woman named Alina is about to arrive in India. Believing that she may be connected to the mystery, Rishi and Vasudev head to the airport to keep an eye on her. They secretly follow her vehicle deep into a forest, but just when they think they're getting closer to the truth, something unbelievable happens. Alina's car suddenly vanishes without a trace, leaving them trapped and completely confused. Back at the surrogacy facility, another crisis unfolds. Leela suddenly goes into labor and is immediately taken to the operation theater located inside the restricted Zone 2. Seeing an opportunity, Yashoda decides to enter Zone 2 once again. This time, she succeeds because she had secretly stolen Dr. Gautam's access card earlier. As she makes her way toward the operation theater, someone suddenly blocks her path. Jenny. The shocking truth is finally revealed. Jenny was never a surrogate mother at all. She had been secretly working for Madhu and helping manage the facility from the inside. A violent struggle breaks out between the two women. After a fierce fight, Jenny loses her life, and Yashoda finally manages to enter the operating area. But what she discovers inside leaves her horrified. Instead of a medical facility, she finds what looks like a hidden morgue. Rows of dead bodies are stored throughout the room. Among them, she recognizes Kajal and Leela. The women who were supposed to send home after complications had actually been murdered. Realizing that everything she had been told was a lie, Yashoda begins searching for more answers. Soon, she enters another room and makes an even more terrifying discovery. Inside large frozen containers are countless preserved infants. Among them is Leela's baby. Hundreds, possibly thousands of newborns are being stored there. Yashoda can hardly believe what she is seeing. Before she can escape, security officer Teja catches her.
He drags her into a separate room and attempts to silence her forever. But in the struggle, Yashoda fights back and manages to kill him. Desperate to survive, she runs into another section of the facility. There, she suddenly comes face to face with Madhu. Moments later, Gautam arrives as well. Using the chaos to her advantage, Yashoda grabs a knife and holds it against Madhu's throat. She demands answers and asks why they are doing all this. But Gautam remains calm. He starts manipulating the situation, telling Yashoda that she should kill Madhu because all the illegal activities happening there are supposedly her fault. While Yashoda is distracted by his words, Gautam makes his move. Within seconds, he overpowers her, grabs her from behind, and places a knife against her neck. The truth finally becomes clear. Madhu and Gautam are not enemies at all. They have been partners in the entire operation from the very beginning, and now Yashoda has become their next victim.
At this point, Madhu finally reveals the truth about her past, and her story turns out to be far darker than anyone expected. Several years earlier, Giridhar had visited a college as a chief guest during a beauty competition. During his speech, he told the students that true beauty comes from a person's heart and character rather than their appearance. However, one student strongly disagreed with him. That student was Madhu. Standing confidently in front of everyone, she argued that in the real world, physical beauty matters more than anything else. According to her, attractive people receive opportunities, attention, and success, while those who are not considered beautiful are often ignored. Among the students listening to the debate was Gautam, who was instantly drawn to Madhu. Over time, he fell deeply in love with her and eventually confessed his feelings, but Madhu rejected him without hesitation. Later, Giridhar himself approached her with a proposal. He admitted that he was impressed by both her beauty and confidence and wanted to marry her. After seeing Giridhar's wealth and influence, Madhu accepted the proposal. For a while, everything seemed perfect. But on their wedding night, Madhu made one thing very clear. She never wanted pregnancy to affect her appearance. Unfortunately, life had other plans. Soon she became pregnant, and as the months passed, her physical appearance started changing. To make matters worse, doctors diagnosed her with a rare condition that was gradually destroying her beauty. There was no cure, and by then it was too late to terminate the pregnancy. As her condition worsened, Madhu became depressed and eventually attempted to take her own life. Thankfully, she survived. Instead of supporting her, Giridhar abandoned her. He coldly admitted that he had married her only because of her beauty, and now that it was gone, he no longer wanted her. At her lowest point, Gautam re-entered her life. He told Madhu that he might be able to restore her appearance, but there was a condition. If he succeeded,
she would have to stay with him forever. Desperate and out of options, Madhu agreed. From that moment onward, Gautam devoted himself to a series of secret experiments. For years, he worked tirelessly, testing different formulas and treatments. Finally, one of his experiments succeeded. The results were unbelievable. Madhu became even more beautiful than she had ever been before. But once again, she betrayed Gautam. Instead of staying loyal to him, she contacted Giridhar and brought him back into her life. Together, they even attempted to eliminate Gautam. However, Gautam survived and confronted them both. He then revealed the shocking truth behind Madhu's transformation. The beauty she had regained was not permanent. To maintain it, she would need a special booster dose every 6 months. Without it, the effects would disappear. And there was only one person in the world who knew how to create that serum: Gautam. He tells them that he originally developed the formula out of love for Madhu. If he had released it commercially, he could have become a billionaire. Instead, he chose her over money, and in return, she betrayed him. After hearing this, Giridhar sees a massive business opportunity. He proposes a deal. He tells Gautam that he can have Madhu if he wants, but in exchange, Gautam must help him manufacture the beauty serum on a large scale. Giridhar wants to sell it to the world's richest people and earn unimaginable wealth. Eventually, the three of them join forces. And together, they begin building a secret operation that will later become the center of a terrifying conspiracy. After capturing Yashoda, Madhu finally reveals the horrifying truth behind the entire operation. She proudly explains her business model to a group of wealthy international clients. It turns out that their beauty serum has become extremely popular among celebrities, socialites, and rich people around the world. Even actress Olivia had been using the product before her death. However, there is one dangerous condition. Anyone using the serum must avoid consuming certain drugs for at least 48 hours. Olivia unknowingly violated this rule, which caused a fatal reaction and ultimately led to her death. The secret behind the serum is even more disturbing. The product is created using plasma extracted from newborn babies. This is why the organization had been collecting pregnant women and keeping them under constant supervision.
Once the babies were delivered, their plasma was harvested and preserved. Whenever a new batch of the serum was needed, the stored plasma was used to manufacture it. The horrifying discovery finally explains everything. The women were never brought there for simple surrogacy. They were part of a massive illegal operation. Madhu also reveals that model Arushi had started investigating the company and was getting dangerously close to exposing the truth. That is why she was eliminated. Shiva was simply caught in the middle of the conspiracy and ended up losing his life as well. Anyone who became a threat to the operation was removed permanently. Meanwhile, Yashoda desperately searches for a way to escape. At the same time, Rishi and his team uncover another shocking secret. They learn that the police commissioner himself is involved in the conspiracy. All this time, he had been secretly feeding information to Madhu and her organization. This explains how the criminals always seemed one step ahead of the investigation. Back inside the facility, Gautam manages to capture Yashoda once again. But this time, Yashoda reveals a truth of her own. She is not an ordinary surrogate mother.
She is actually a trained police officer. A flashback reveals that after completing her police training, Yashoda was asked to pay a bribe before she could officially join the force. Unable to afford it, she was left with no choice. When her younger sister learned about the situation, she promised to somehow arrange the money needed to help Yashoda achieve her dream. During her search for money, Yashoda's sister became connected to the surrogacy network and eventually disappeared. Determined to find her, Yashoda made a risky decision. She entered the organization herself by pretending to be a surrogate mother. From the very first day, she had been secretly observing everything, memorizing security systems, camera locations, and staff movements while searching for evidence. Now that her cover has been blown, there is no turning back. Several guards attack her, but Yashoda uses her training and fights them off one by one. Meanwhile, Rishi and his team take action against the corrupt commissioner, finally ending his involvement in the conspiracy. Back at the facility, Yashoda launches a full assault against the remaining guards. After defeating them, she begins rescuing all the women trapped inside the compound. Then, the final and most shocking truth comes out. To maintain her beauty, Madhu had been using plasma taken from her own child. She had sacrificed her own baby for the sake of preserving her appearance and staying young forever. When the other women learn this horrifying truth, they are filled with rage. Unable to forgive her actions, they turn against Madhu. Together, they drag her to the edge of a cliff and leave her to fall to her death. With Madhu gone, the entire criminal network finally collapses. The surviving women are freed, the truth comes out, and justice is finally served. And with that powerful ending, the movie comes to a close. If you enjoyed this movie explanation, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you never miss another amazing movie recap.